Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we've got a stack of sources that are, well, they're practically vibrating with anticipation.
They really are.
We are tackling the film that everyone is talking about, Varanasi, which is just setting this completely unprecedented bar for pre-release excitement.
And this isn't just about a successful director making another film. I mean, our source material confirms this is a very strategic play.
A strategic play for what, exactly?
It's Tollywood aiming for a fundamentally new level.
Yeah.
A new level of storytelling and, I think, global relevance.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to unpack that, to look at this high concept blend they're going for, time travel, mythology, adventure, and understand who's driving it, and crucially, what are the risks that come with this kind of monumental hype.
Exactly.
So let's jump right into that combination because, I mean, time travel fused with ancient mythology, that feels inherently volatile, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly why it's causing this immediate frenzy. The sources suggest they really needed a concept big enough to justify the budget, the talent. And that all starts with the title itself.
Right. Varanasi, just saying it, it's a bold choice. It immediately signals ambition.
It's so strategic. I mean, the name Varanasi is instantly recognizable across the globe. It's not just a place, it's an identity, right? It's one of the oldest cities in the world, just steeped in this spiritual, historical significance.
So it grounds the whole thing.
It grounds the fantasy, exactly. It gives this potentially wild, time-hopping adventure a kind of a gravitas that some generic title just never could.
And the person they've chosen to merge the techie high concept with that deep historical weight is, well, not surprisingly, director S.S. Rajamouli.
Of course. I mean, his name alone is the core engine of this entire thing.
It's the guarantee.
It is the guarantee. His track record with epics like Bahubali and RRR, it doesn't just promise scale, it promises a structure and, a control over that scale.
Yeah.
For the studios, his name is basically the financial insurance policy.
Yeah.
That all the money they're pouring into this is actually going to create a cohesive world on screen.
So his past work gives you confidence in the execution, even if the genre itself is a huge swing.
Exactly.
And we know who's at the center of this narrative on screen, Mahesh Babu. And his character's name is confirmed as Rudra.
And that name takes us right into the mythological fusion. Rudra is, it's instantly recognizable in Hindu tradition.
It's just in power.
Power, maybe a destructive force, a transformative one. And when you combine that name with the first visuals that have leaked out, you see exactly how they're trying to bridge that past and future.
Okay, so let's break down those visual anchors because they're so crucial to how the audience is, picturing this high concept in their heads. What are the specific things that are driving the fan reaction?
It really all comes down to a couple of specific images from the early looks. There are these persistent rumors that Mahesh Babu's introduction, that he rides in on a bull.
A direct connection to Nanda, yeah.
A very direct connection. And then there's the confirmed visual of him holding a trident, the Trishulum.
And that trident is just such a powerful shorthand, isn't it? It's this iconic symbol of power, of destruction. And when you put that into a story about messing with time,
it immediately tells you that the stakes are cosmological.
Yeah, not just personal.
And the sources are all saying that these first visuals look great. They promise that high-quality finish that, Rajamouli guarantees.
But what's fascinating here, and I think a little dangerous, is how close they're skirting to established canon.
That's where it gets really risky. There's one major leak that suggests a key sequence in the film is explicitly drawn from the Ramayana.
The Ramayana, I mean, that's monumental. In his other epics, Rajamouli has taken inspiration, sure, but to directly reference or maybe even alter events from a text that's significant.
And then combine it with time travel.
It feels like a creative risk multiplier, a huge one.
It absolutely is. And the sources point out this dual challenge. We're talking about like a symbolic parallel, which is narratively pretty safe.
Or
is it a literal time disruption where a character goes back and intervenes in an established history?
which is so much harder to pull off.
Incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
Because your audience comes in with these fixed, lifelong expectations of that story. If that integration isn't absolutely flawless, you risk alienating the very people who love the mythology in the first place.
Okay, that brings us to the necessary critical shift here. We've established the colossal scale, the appeal, But we have to talk about the constraints, the dangers that are kind of baked into this whole concept.
Exactly. I mean, the biggest but in all of our source material is that every single assessment we have right now is based on curated first looks and, third-hand leaks.
Right, we don't have the script.
We don't have the script. And in this genre, the script is everything.
And that's where films like this usually collapse, right? The clarity challenge. When you layer time travel logic, which demands such precise rules on top of deeply respected mythology, that script has to be exceptionally clear.
And if you look at the bigger picture, Rajamouli's signature strength has always been visual maximalism married to narrative simplicity.
That's a great way to put it.
His stories are grand, but the emotional beats, the plot points, they're very straightforward. Time travel, though, demands narrative complexity. It demands logical precision.
And if that logic fails,
the audience doesn't just stop believing, they get confused. And confusion is the absolute death of spectacle.
confusion also fuels the other big danger here, which is over-expectation. When you attach a director and a star of this magnitude to a concept this huge, expectations aren't just high, they're astronomical.
This is a financial tightrope walk. The film absolutely has to be transcendent. If the hype builds this massive buzz, but the film only delivers, say, a B-plus effort,
The financial hit would be severe.
it would. The risk we talk about in the industry is that dreaded tracking missing moment.
Okay, so tracking missing, for anyone who isn't deep in the industry jargon, what does that actually mean in practice?
It's actually pretty simple. It's when all that high volume of interest before the release, the buzz, the social media chatter, the first day advance bookings.
The stuff that makes it look like a guaranteed blockbuster.
Exactly. And then it just fails to translate into sustained ticket sales. It all just fizzles out after the opening weekend.
Meaning the hype got people in the door, but the movie wasn't good enough to keep them coming back or telling their friends to go.
Right. And with the kind of budget a Rajamouli film requires, you need long legs.
Yeah.
You can't just have a single jump.
So what does all of this mean for you, the listener? Who is the core audience that the sources confirm should be, genuinely excited for this?
Well, the target audience seems to be twofold. First, if you are a fan of genuinely high-scale action-adventure, if you prioritize visual wonders and production value above all else, this film is engineered for you.
And the second group?
The second, obviously, is the audience dedicated to Mahesh Babu. This new look, this character Rudra, and the whole mythological combination. It's giving them new, high-stakes material that's going to connect really strongly with his established fan base.
Makes sense.
And given the sheer scale we're talking about, the viewing recommendation is pretty unified across the board.
It has to be the theater.
It has to be the theater. This is a cinematic event designed for the biggest screen and the best sound you can find. Anything less would just compromise the whole experience.
So our final summary, then, is that Varanasi is a guaranteed visual spectacle. It's a hugely anticipated entertainer with really strong strategic ambition behind it.
Yeah.
It has all the talent to deliver on the scale, but it's the complexity of that script that poses the single greatest risk.
That is the tension, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what we keep coming back to. And maybe here's a final thought for you to mull over.
Okay.
Despite the guaranteed entertainment scale, despite the massive star power, the ultimate measure of this film's success won't be in the first 30 minutes of spectacle.
It'll be deeper than that.
It's going to hinge entirely on the script's competence. Specifically, how logically watertight is that time travel element? And maybe more importantly, how respectful and effective is the integration of that ancient mythological climax?
The highest stakes come with the biggest rewards and the biggest risks.
That's the whole game.
You've seen the glimpses out there. Given the challenge of combining Rudra, the Trishlam, time travel, and the Ramayana, what's the one assumption you're most worried about them breaking? Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll catch you next time.